Just what was kind of the message at halftime? And it seems like the guys came out and responded really well right away in the second half.
You know, there was no panic at halftime. It was just what we had to do better. And, you know, we just weren't moving the ball. We were just like, I don't want to say heavy-legged. We looked tired. We looked like it was the fourth game in 7 days coming back from the Bahamas. And we just talked, man, that's not us. Like, we got 20 minutes and we're going to have a day off, you know. And I felt that we moved the ball. We went downhill so much more. We had way more movement in the second. And what that does is it puts pressure on the defense. And I thought we got to the foul line that way. When you're standing around and not moving as much and you're just trying to so we were getting side to side, and going downhill. And I thought that was so much better. You know, defensively, you know, they were hard matchups. I mean, they were huge. And, you know, very, very – I said this earlier. I think Nathan George is one of the best passing point guards. He can really spray the ball. I think he had 5 assists. But, you know, they're just – if you switch, they're trying to pound you down there. But I really felt that we won the battle from the three-point line. You know, we had 10, they had 5, so we were plus 15 points from the three-point line. But our second-half defense holding to 27, I think, was another key.
James?
Porter, in the first half, you got beat by 7 on the boards. You win the rebounding battle in the second half. How much of an influence did that have on the game?
Yeah, it was one of the reasons why we won. We talked about it at halftime. We just talked about it, and it was just like, this is, you know, what happened against Louisville, and, you know, we got to get inside position. You know, we got to. Sometimes Majerus used to tell me that. He goes, sometimes you tell a small guard, sometimes you might not get it, but you got to make damn sure that your guy doesn't get it. And that's with a great block out in his legs. And, you know, they were just crashing the glass on us. And, you know, I think, you know, I really felt, you know, Jaylen had 11 rebounds. You know, I thought he was big. You know, Glenn had 4 big defensive rebounds. Sam had some big ones there. So, you know, to get some of those rebounds is going to be key for our defense because, you know, they had 27 in the second half, and I don't know how many they had second chance. It might have been 7, but you might be talking about under 20. You know, do they have second chance points here? Second chance points. Yeah, I guess it wasn't. So.
Go Bob and Jesse.
Jeremiah, 16 of 18 in the second half. He had the early foul trouble. How you navigated that, and then how he responded in the second half.
Well, it's the second time in a row I told him that I was going to play him, and I think he came in and made a couple good plays, and just to stay involved. And I thought he handled it way better than Louisville. He's so much growth, and I mean, he was a key. He had some big plays for us. He had a really nice mid-range pull-up that he hit. He had one where I think it was around the 4-minute mark or somewhere where they were up pressuring him, and next thing you know, we've been talking about it. Don't play with it if they're up that far into you. And he just drove by and he was at the rim like in 2 seconds. But I thought he did a lot of good things. He was trying to get other guys involved. 3 assists, only 2 turnovers in the night. He had 2 steals. He had 5 rebounds, and you know, 18 points in 24 minutes. I mean, so great production. I thought he really grew from last time he was in foul trouble, and I thought he did really well.
Porter, you just mentioned that there are only 2 turnovers for Jeremiah, just 7 as a team. Can you talk about maybe the ball security and just what went into that?
It's just huge to be that disciplined with your ball security. We've been, you know, it's one of the reasons analytically we talked about with Duke and Kobe is that they were efficient guys, and people are taking care of the ball. I mean, it's been a mantra of ours that we want to win the turnover battle. You know, analytically, if you're losing, it's one of the most important stats in the game. If you're losing that battle big, it's just way more times they can get the ball on the rim. And the guys have bought into it, and not always great at it, but you know we've been. I don't know what we're averaging for the year, but we haven't had those like 17 turnover nights that you see some of these teams out there. We've been really keeping it low, and we got to continue that.
Porter, you guys have held them to no field goals for 12 minutes at one point in the last 5 minutes. Just what did you see defensively?
We were. It was a very tough game defensively because they put you in different positions a lot. With the switch, we were changing up a lot. We were changing our ball screen coverages. Then we'd switch. We were trying to keep them off balance because they were keeping us off balance. But they were trying to take the switch and hurt us inside. And we but I think our guys just, I want to say we played tired in the first half, but it was a grueling stretch. They always talk about that MTE hangover, and that's usually when you take a week off. We didn't have time to hangover. We didn't have enough time to get a hangover because I was going to say something I'm probably glad I didn't say on the media. We got back from Bahamas late Saturday. We got a delayed. We didn't get back late Saturday, and we were in there all day Sunday, the coach, and then we had to bring the players back to put in the game plan, and we had to practice on Monday, and we played today. So it was, and it was grueling in Bahamas. So it was a little bit of, and they weren't going to let themselves feel sorry for us, using an excuse. But looking back on it, I don't think we were very sharp in the first half, but we were fortunate enough to keep it, and it got up to like 9 or 10, and we battled back to only 4, to their credit. And then I thought they were just like, man, for 20 minutes, we're just going to let it all out, and talked about our movement on offense and having to defend and rebound.
Porter, in the final minute there when Jaylen checked out with like 48 seconds left, you guys had a pretty long embrace and thought you kind of let out some emotions there. What was that like for him to have this kind of performance against his former team?
That moment between him and I, but you could only imagine. It's just he really wanted to play well, and for him, more importantly than that, he wanted to win. You're just happy for him. I mean, I remember him and I were texting each other the moment the ACC SEC challenge came out, and just happy for him. I mean, and I think I'm happy for he's also. I mean, more. He isn't talking about that. We were just talking about another win in the win column, another Power 5 team, another resume, hopefully, with that. But I thought for him, another great thing is he was great at what he was good at. He wasn't, like before, we've talked about your mind right, game right with him, and it wasn't like he was shooting the leather off it, but he ended up with 15 and 11, all right? And he was, he had a huge impact on the win, not shooting it great. That's growth from him, and his mind was always energetic. That's growth for players, man. There's a million ways to win games, and he impacted the game, and he shot 3 for 10.
We'll go Myron in the second row.
You're 8-0. It's still early, but you've come through some really good competition this year recently. Sometimes coaches kind of like they're looking for certain things, different teams. Hey, anything you've learned about you guys this early on that you didn't know when the practices started that you?
Yeah, like you just don't know until you start getting tested how resilient you are, And I thought, every game was close these last 4 games, and we found way they were resilient. They took punches, they came back, they came out of timeouts, and I'm liking the resiliency of this group and the finding ways to win. All 4 of these games, until this one. About a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but like every one of them was last minute game. The game's still on the line, and they found ways to win. And it's been different guys. Different guys are playing well. We want to try to get deeper. If we feel like we can get 8 or 9 guys really impacting the game, we feel like we're deeper. But I love the resolve and the resiliency that we found out going through this stretch.
Go ahead.
How surprised were you, or with the challenge Georgia Tech gave you? Down 2 starters, McCollum obviously a big scorer, him well, and then Reeves not playing tonight too. That they were able to challenge you so well in the first half.
We weren't surprised at all because the respect we have for Lance Terry and Jaden Mustafa. Those 2 guys are playing their tail off. Look at their numbers, their last 3 games. Those 2, and they've come in and they've shot it better. They've been tougher, physically, defensively, been really tough. Lance had 14 and Mustafa had 16. So I think they found something because I thought those guys were super physical. They played really well, and we saw that on film the last couple games.
Any additional questions for Coach? Okay, go back to Mason.
Porter, so you guys came out, had the 9-0 run, the crowd really got back into it. What can you say about this crowd and the impact that they had?
It was great. For the people that were in there, you made a difference. And I just want to thank them. It wasn't sold out, but the people, and that's what I can't wait to vision to that thing getting sold out. And we've had it there sold out, and it just makes a difference. And for the people that were there tonight, the 1,500 students that were there tonight, the fans, they made a difference. And I just hope we continue to fill that because you're going to need a home court advantage. You need to be a hard place to win at. I know this because I've gone into the grind of this league in the Big 12 to where that was there. And this year, now obviously everyone's seen what the SEC's doing. It's shattering records for where it's at right now. And you have to create that atmosphere where it's really hard to play. And I thought there were some moments where the crowd really impacted, and I thank you for that.
Okay, we'll go to the far back for our last question.
Coach, I mean, kind of building off that last question, Bob Stoops in the arena tonight, just someone that's such an OU legend, what does that say about what you guys have done, the support that this program's getting, just kind of the energy around OU basketball right now?
You know, he's everything about OU, but he's also become a great personal friend. And so, like, I had a great moment with him walking down the tunnel before the game. I saw him, and he was there waiting for me. And then he's everything that you want to be as a coach. I don't care if it's a different sport, but as a friend, but as a supporter for OU. I mean, he's so energetic, passionate about OU sports, and he's been a big advocate for me and a sounding board for me and a friend for me.
Second half, just what kicked in defensively?
Mainly just, attention to detail. Coach emphasizes a lot of stuff, especially, being physical, rebounding. And so that was the big main part. And so we just try to execute the game plan.
James?
In the second half, you guys got your offense going better. You hit threes, you move better. Things. How did you guys see that in the second half?
We just wanted to move the ball and get better possessions and get each other moving a little bit more so it wasn't as stagnant.
And just to harp on that, a little more paint touches. That was Coach harp on. He was like, the percentages, it skyrockets when we, get paint touches, move the ball, and, space out a little more. When the spacing better, the team flows better.
Cool.
Yeah, for both of you, Porter talked about just how tough it's been playing 4 games in 7 days or whatever it's been. Just what was that like tonight and recovering from the trip?
It's not easy, playing 4 games in 7 days. Your body's be tired, be mentally tired, but, winning's not easy. It's going to be nights where you're not going to feel like it or your body's not going to feel like it, but you got to find a way. And we found a way tonight.
I also think our team's deep, so we can just keep subbing, keep getting guys in there.
Okay, back to Tom.
Yeah, Porter talked about how when this game was announced, him and Jaylen were texting us because Jaylen's former team. What did it mean to see Jaylen have this kind of game like that, and what did it mean for you guys just to help him win against his former team?
Yeah, we came into this game, we already knowing, Jaylen had a little chip on his shoulder with this game, and we already told him we was going to have his back. And, Jaylen, he performed actually great, man. He had, 9 for 10, he had, 14, 12 points, and 10 rebounds, so that's good. He had a double-double, and, just coming in, this game means a lot because it's an ACC, SEC kind of play, so, we're just trying to be on top.
Back to Coleman.
Dude, Bryson mentioned the depth, but how big is it to have a guy like him come off the bench and hit 3 threes or whatever?
Oh, man, that's big time. It's easy when everybody coming in and pitching in and doing their part. It was just fun. And then, like you said, having that depth, man, always having fresh legs, you can go out there and give it your all every single time, and you don't have to worry about knowing your brother's going to have your back.
Any additional questions for these guys? Bob?
Bryson, just the fight to get back, and when did you know your ankle, when did you start trusting it again?
It was a little journey, but I've been through injuries before. I just tried to stay mentally prepared so that I wasn't a second behind, even though I was playing through an injury. But I felt pretty good today.
Any additional questions? All right, thanks guys. Thanks.
All right, thank y'all.
Yeah, both teams. so he went just over the line.
Oh my God, it's 11-2.
Exactly.
Come in. Wake up. It's not a person lesson.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone has to take him to